back, ladies and gentlemen. This is our special tribute show going out to the wonderful Osibisa. Now, this is Sunshine Day. It actually came number 17 in the UK singles charts in 1976. A prolific song, a song we still enjoy even right now. And this is how powerfully the Osibisa band has impacted all of us, even the Gen Zs. Welcome back. I am Blessing Bliss Frimpong. You can call me Teacher Blessing, and this is a special edition for you. Now, we are entering the land and the era and the world of the legends. You have no idea the guests we have here in the studio who are here to share with you some wisdom, some history, and some technicalities you would love to hear. If you're a musician, if you're up and coming, if you're a music lover, if you're Ghanaian and African, you'd want to stay right here and join this conversation. Let me know the questions you'd love to ask these wonderful people, because I would love to answer them for you. Let me start with the first. They are all my grandpapas, to be honest. They are all my grandpas, okay? So starting, the meaning of his name is Tradition Child. He has over 30 years of experience in the music industry. And if you're looking for songs that have stood the test of time, I know definitely you mention a song like Panlo Goyede. You'd also mention a song like Wogbejeke. He's a man that has toured Europe, Africa, and around the world. His name, ladies and gentlemen, is Amandzeba, and he has joined me in the studio. Thank you so much for joining me, sir. And our next guest is also a man with 30 albums to his name, with over 50 years of music life. He is known for some swag and some rap life that you came to meet no matter how old you are. He's also the man behind the Simigwa highlife. I'll ask him if I pronounced it correctly. But ladies and gentlemen, Gyedu-Blay Ambolley has also joined me in the studio. You're welcome, sir. And next also is the African master percussionist. He is the master drummer, and he has been that since the age of 10. He became a master drummer. He was part of the GHOne sounds, the second Ghanaian music to also hit the international world after Osibisa. And he is also called Otrema Asante, joining me in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, is another guest you know very well, because his contribution is also evident and seen all around the world. We call him Uncle Bess, but he also has a very long portfolio. Let me give you a few of that. He's a Ghanaian musician, songwriter, and keyboardist. He was actually part of the Osibisa band. He's not only that, he's the president of the Musicians Union of Ghana, popularly known as Musica. If you want to remember this man, well, that is him, ladies and gentlemen. Bessa Simmons is also here. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Now, our focus definitely is going to be Osibisa, but we cannot have giants here without talking about you, because each of you is a whole book we need to look into. But first of all, we will look at the contact you've had, or your first contact with Osibisa. I'll start with you, sir, or Amandzeba. When was the first time you encountered Osibisa band?
First of all, let me say hello to everybody here. And I think I schooled at Christian Methodist, so we're close to Orion Cinema, right? And so, sure, I mean, this is not to say that I was playing truancy, but all of us at that time revered the group and the name Osibisa.
Right.
And we heard that they were coming to Ghana. And they came to Ghana. And they came to Orion Cinema. And the proximity, just queer. So, you know, we had to plan during the day after classes that we were going to, you know, run away from evening classes. So everybody, you know, there's an alleyway from the overhead bridge. You know, our school was situated just behind over here.
Right.
So we could easily, pass through without any school uniform and stuff like that. And when we got to Orion Cinema, my God, the crowd. We did whatever we could. So we had to enjoy the music outside. And we had to wait till the concert was over, and then we had the opportunity to see them like this with our naked eyes. I mean, it was so pleasant. Those days, music was a cultural product that was very, very, very expensive. Every aspect of it. Live shows, records that you buy, cassettes and stuff like that.
Yes.
So we actually thought that music at that time was a sacred religion. And so everybody who was involved in it, any practitioner, to us was God. And I remember I saw my small boy here when he was in his collar, you understand, and then the civil guard, oh man, Charlie,
I move on to you,
but first of all, I mean, finally, I want us all to appreciate these gentlemen, the band, the Chin Band. I am telling you, they give me hope. They make me feel that the future is not bleak.
Yeah.
You understand? And I'm sure they'll be inspiring so many of the youth to be really pursuing organic music. You understand? I mean, we have lots of machines playing music.
Yes, that's
true. We want human beings to play music.
Beautiful. Uncle Blay, just as Amandzeba was saying, he remembers the experience, but we want to hear from you as well. How was your first experience with Osibisa?
It started from the later part of the 60s, getting into the 70s. And I knew some of the musicians even before they formed the Osibisa band. And we're in Ghana when we heard about Osibisa, getting together, playing that kind of rhythms, that was creating happiness and things like that. And we're very, 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 very proud of Osibisa because where they took the name Ghana to, in the world, I don't think any band has been able to do that. Coming from Ghana, and I think more has to be done to them, comparatively as, trying to see those that have contributed so much, musically. But I think that I'm very, very proud of them, and I think Ghana needs to be proud of them, and I think Ghana hasn't been proud of them. Yes, because the name, where they took the name Ghana too, I think when they come back to Ghana, I think that, something huge has to be done so that the up and coming, we see that, they were the pace setters and things like that. But things of this nature hasn't been done. It doesn't have to come like as the leader of Teddy Osibisa passed away, then something is going to be done at what we call it, a state house and things like that. No, how many Ghanaians are going to come there? Because I feel sorry, when I really think about, because I met them in London, and I met them in America also, and the music itself that they've been able to provide is we see well-recorded music. You're talking about management and things like that. So they knew the business, that they have to pass on, to the up and coming, so that those that have, the talents by the Almighty will also add the information so that they can move forward. But I think Osibisa is the greatest band, comparatively. There are you have Hugh Masekela's, you have Fela Kuti's and things like that. But where Osibisa reached, I think it mustn't end here.
Uncle Vess, do you agree?
Yeah.
I agree. First of all, I would like to commend this program today because I don't know how you managed to get all these giants
All these giants.
in the same room.
We are honored.
Yes,
they,
and
they
also-
accepted our invitation. All of your parts, Uncle Vers, you're actually parts.
I think you've done very well.
He has a question for you here. He will ask you
Okay.
later when we finish. Gender.
And also,
Gender.
I would like to thank the Ichinchin Band because they are young, dedicated musicians. And this is what Teddy says all the time. If you want to do music, you have to be dedicated. But my first encounter with Osibisa was that the picture behind you. This group is called the Beautiful Seven. These people, Spartacus, Solamafio, Teddy, Wendell, Lofty, McTonto, Robert. They came together and formed this group. But when we were kids, you know, I went to Agri and we had a school band. We were like the third band. Alfred Bannerman then was the Vox International. So we were learning and, you know, we know the difference between a major and a minor chord.
Yeah.
So we don't respect anybody. We think we are the best. Then the school bought a small black and white television. Most of you didn't see that. Those days you have to go and stand behind somebody's window and watch, and then if it's not coming, they put in a coat hanger, then we guess. It's leave it like that.
Is it the Tikopo one?
Yes. And every Saturday we watch the Top of the Pops. All of a sudden we could see these guys wearing fugu, wearing, you know, alongside Beatles, Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
They look like us. And what song did they play? Music for Gong Gong. Music for Gong Gong, Gong Gong, Ghana, Gong Gong.
Yeah.
And they played the song. It was an instrumental. So we started searching, who are these? Who are these? School band. So the rich mates, they traveled to London. They came back with the records and everything. We said, wow. So we started learning Osibisa songs. I mean, the way they fused, you know, African rhythms, melodies with rock. Rock was unbelievable. So we started following them. And like a small boy like me, I said to myself that day, when I grow up, I would like to be like them.
Wow.
You see, and that's the first time I saw Osibisa. And lo and behold, I met them when we opened for them at the Accra Sports Stadium. I was playing with a band called The Third Eye. And we met them and we opened for them. Then when we finished, we played for them at a dinner party someone, you know, had for them. Then when we were playing, you know, McTonto came, he was standing by my side. We talk and, you know, and he said, hey, Joe, anytime you find yourself in London, come and look for me. You know, and then we just left it like that. And I mean, later on, I found myself in London. And I was in a room when McTonto came in there. And you can imagine, I was so proud. And he came and he recognized me.
Wow.
I said, Charlie, the man recognized me. Hey, me. So he took me straight to Teddy's house. And when we got there, Hugh Masakele was there. They were talking and everything. And I mean, the rest is history.
Beautiful. What's a rich one? I learned that you were part of the Osibisa band, and we will come to that. You worked with Osibisa band. So we will come to that. We'll have conversation on that as well. But the master percussionist is also right here. So your band also came out internationally right around the time that Osibisa was also on the international platform. Would you say that they influenced you in going international?
I think so. They did.
Right.
They did. And my first encounter with Osibisa was the time I first came to Accra from Koforidua
Right.
with my talking drums and my suitcase. I was going through a lot because it was very difficult times because I was trying to introduce the traditional talking drums into mainstream, music. And Ghanaians were not ready for that because this was the time that pop music was all over the place. We have the student bands, the pop chains, and all that. So when you go to Tipto Gardens, people were wearing bare bottoms, digging their soul music, and I would show up with a cloth on my waist and talking drums, singing Akosia Kuma. They were not ready for that. And I had a lot of, difficult times. People were trying to discourage me, say, man, you're wasting your time. So during that time, a friend of mine came from Tema, and he showed me, and I was, Asante, look at this. What you are trying to do, these people have done it, man. I say, I look at it, I listen to it, I go be a music for Gongo. I say, wow, this is the direction I want to do, and these people are doing it. So right there, I told myself, you're not wasting your time at all.
Right.
These people have made it. They've shown the way that it can be done, and thank God I also did it. I followed their. So they were a big inspiration, to me. So like they became like my big brothers. And I remember their first tour in Ghana. I was asked to open for them.
Wow.
At the Star Hotel in Kumasi. So from then on, I was invited to join the GHOne Sounds, and we also, like, I'll tell you, we were all inspired by Osibisa. Because they told us that we can use the African music. These were the time that there was a group called Heartbeats, Gerardo Pino and Heartbeats. They came from Sierra Leone. And man, the funk all over the place, man.
They had taken over.
They took
and
all
they were
over
not
the place.
Africans.
They were Africans from Sierra Leone.
Right. Oh, South Africa. Right.
No, Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they took over that place. So just imagine this at the time we were also trying to, I used to come to the mirror.
Right.
Dressed like Africa, and I said, go Africa. We used to go. Then when I go to Tipto, and so sometimes they introduce me to come and play. Get out there. Okay. But I still, after I performed for some few minutes, just, oh, wow, yeah, wow. So Osibisa to me was a big inspiration, a big inspiration to me.
Beautiful. Uncle Blake, let's look at your genre. In fact, the music produced by all of you resonates in a way with Osibisa, with how all of you stand out uniquely. And Uncle Blake, one thing you do is also mixing the rock and all of that. In fact, you were one of the people from old who introduced the rap kakrano, blending it and all of that. How was it like standing out in those era when other people were out there reaching out to the masses and you came in with your GHOne style? How was it like?
No, I mean, music is just like you cooking a soup. You need to have the right ingredients in the soup.
Yeah.
Because, soup can be prepared in Ghana, and somebody who's not a Ghanaian can taste it. But if the ingredients are right, he's going to embrace that soup and, maybe recommend that to his wife to make it.
Yeah.
To me, I think any direction that we're coming from, you have to steady, you have to have the focus of, it's like you want to bring out something, to the masses.
Right.
How are you going to make them receive? Because like what Brother Ochima was saying, because he wants to be more African, they were looking down and said, oh, Charlie, no, Yusuf, what are you, But when he saw Osibisa and the direction we come from, that gave him an inspiration that what he's trying to do has a future. So for me, the rap music and everything, it's not coming from America. The rap music is an African.
It started from Africa.
Because, when a Deba is being held and the king is coming, we have a linguist. Every time they have the linguist we sing in the nebo, these are all raps, without rhythm. But I thought of putting rhythm at the back. But the inspiration also came from In the school days, we didn't have money to buy congas and everything. So we started using our mouths to, to get that rhythm. Pim, pak, tukutum, tu, ta, samana, kwa, ba.
Yeah.
We try to put words, put words.
Oh, so that's how that came about.
That's how that it came about.
Okay.
Yeah,
That all of that.
And one can show and one tell, and one blow. So it became a creative something. That when I got involved into music itself, at the back of my mind, I say, hey, I'm going to bring you inside here.
Right.
And because the other time, in the school days when we were doing it, the passerbys, anytime they stand and they'll be looking at us and they burst into laugh and all that kind of thing because we had a dance to it.
Right.
We have words to it and everything. So the inspiration was coming out of there. So when our brothers from America, started, putting rap on funk music and things like that, well, I didn't say anything because they took them away from Africa, but they couldn't take Africa away from them.
True.
So what they were trying to demonstrate is the Africanism in them and things like. And when we hear coming from Africa, we understand it very, very, very vividly. So. I did some few experiments, in the course of performances and things like that. And I said that, no, there's some words about it, one country and I won't tell because it's going to happen. And it took off.
Yeah.
So when I came out with my first recording, people didn't understand the words. People didn't understand the music, but they couldn't get enough of it. So that also paved the way for people to hear the name Gyedu-Blay Ambolley because that opened the door for me.
Right.
And I started moving on. But we are not here because of Gyedu-Blay Ambolley. We are here because of our brothers Osibisa.
Yes, Osibisa.
So whatever that Osibisa has been able to do, I think we need to take a cue out of that and add it to whatever that we want to portray. Musically and things like that. So, Osibisa, bye.
Amandzeba, how did Osibisa influence your style?
The name is not Amandzeba.
It's not Amandzeba.
Amandzeba.
Amandzeba. Okay, Amandzeba. Thank you. Amandzeba. How did Osibisa band influence your genre and your style of music?
To be very, very blunt and direct, I would say that that's the reason why I'm stubbornly entrenched in originality.
Right.
Because you see, sometimes I think that our stories must be told by ourselves. So it becomes our story and not his story. Yeah. To be honest, I would say that I am one of the first people, or probably the first person, who actually contemporized Malogo. Because we used to live in the area where, we have these cultural troops and all the people, and even the big bands, because we're close to Uncle King Bruce. And Ramblers had some of their musicians around our area. So the place was booming with music and trends, you understand. But I think that there's a huge cultural table set where each and every one of us must be present and present what he feels is going to advance the cause of culture and music. We normally do not appreciate music the way it should be. Because music is simply magic. It's magic. Now, assuming you just get up one morning and you had a tune in your mind and you string them together and you go and play. You see how pleasant, how captivating it is with what you as an individual have been able to put out there. So In fact, the real intellectuals are the ones who are gathered here, sitting here. Because music is also, you use mathematics. You don't go
Right.
beyond it. It has to be even. You understand? So that's the reason why it is even used to open the minds of those who are a little bit retarded. There's music therapy that actually improves people's mental state. You understand? And it has to be original. It has to speak with you. Because if you're sitting here and they are playing agbaja, it has to move you.
It does.
We are the only people in creation that God put the time, music in us. Some of us sometimes go off, then it means you are being a white man. If you be a black man, just be constantly in time. You
Right,
understand?
yeah.
On time. So, Osibisa, I am telling you, from that period, actually inspired almost everybody. I mean, you know how influential music is, and at a point, everybody wants to be reggae musicians, everybody wants to be dancehall, everybody wants to be. But hey, that's the reason why I say these gentlemen must be preserved. Because sometimes you sit and you think that, oh, we've lost hope. Nothing good is going to come because everybody is gravitating towards what they think is commercially viable. Music has become a commercial product, which shouldn't be the case. The originality itself must be able to push the stuff beyond. Do not, get influenced by other people, but the largest component of what you're putting out there must come from here. About 80 to 90% must come from here. And so that's the reason why I feel Osibisa actually tutored me, guided me to be very original. Wogbejeke, for instance, is lakma.
Right.
This is our rhythm. You understand? Before you would hear lakma only during the Homawa season. But now you can hear lakma almost every day.
True.
Because they play Wogbejeke almost
Ogbejeke,
every
yeah,
time.
yeah.
So that's what we will have to use our experiences and our little knowledge to bring out what we have, the beautiful rhythms that we have across this country. Why must I try as much as possible to, be somebody else when I can be myself?
Right.
You understand? So, Osibisa there, Charlie, everybody has to, they keep inspiring us because
do.
even the kids, when they play, people say everything is all right. I mean, it's captivating. It cuts across. The
Yeah.
kids love it because it sounds like nursery rhymes and stuff like that. But it's serious business, So I think most of you too, who really present musical programs, must endeavor to spread the rhythm so that the kids know that this is our own. You understand? Because otherwise, then we are finished.
And I believe that the Gen Zs are watching us right here on Rhythms Live. Today is History Day as we listen to the very wonderful and great tunes that were brewed from the wonderful Osibisa band that sold the African continent and the Ghanaian culture to the world. And we are joined by these great men who are on their own. They have done marvelously in the world of music, especially in Ghana, in our culture, and also pushing the African culture to the world. Now, Uncle Bess, I'll come to you on the part where you worked with Osibisa Band. How was the experience?
For me, it was like a dream come true. This is a group that promoted African culture and our traditions and how our instruments are properly used from Africa, not how a foreigner would use our instrument. When I joined them, because we keyboard musicians in Ghana played almost every Osibisa record that dropped.
Wow.
So I was at the right place at the right time. They needed a keyboard player to travel with. So I just fell in. I remember telling, oh, Mark, I have to rehearse with you. He said, no, you don't need any rehearsal. All you African musicians, you play our song, let's go.
Right.
But it was like you learn the professional way of doing music. You know, all their music has an act. The arrangements is there. You have to know arrangements, how they play, what they do here. And they have to teach you what they do at their percussion breaks, which is very special to them. Like when we break in music for gongo, it's a straight percussion session. You go in straight. And we don't play the percussion outside the microphone.
Okay.
We go to the microphone, everybody shake it. And so it hits you like, when you listen,
Right.
it hits you in the face. And then that's when you see white women hypnotized. You know, and they dance on beat, anyway, they go like that. And I just felt it, you know, first time they did it. You know, and Mactonto said, the white people who don't know our rhythm, you know, Maxi, when we did Mummy Dretchy, so me, Herman, Alfred, then I will take the cowbell, then somebody think, say 1, 2, 1, 2, you hear, king, 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 king. Then Mark will wait for it, then he comes in with the maracas. And they build it. And when you think they've finished, then Teddy comes in with the phantom frog.
Wow.
And I tell you, on stage, because the sound is always good, you can feel it. The tension in the room is filled with Africa. And the cowbells, you know, the beat we are playing is not simple to them. If you work with white people, you see that it takes them a long time before they get into, especially our 6/8. And I'm sure we all know we've played with them, you know. And like things like you fly from one place to another place, you go to, they tell you, listen, the bus will be here 5 o'clock. So, for sound check. By 4, people are down there waiting for the bus. So if you relax in your room, by the time everybody is in the bus, and you won't do that again.
Yeah.
You know, so you learn all this thing because there, if you are late, Charlie, you spoil the show. So you have to be there all the time. And when you go, time to go on stage is very important. You have to be prepared. You have to rehearse in your own room. And if you know when you are not sharp, you have to be sharp.
Right.
And Osibisa was like that. And also, if you listen to Osibisa's song, the horn lines has highlife in it. Or is played with highlife kind of beat. And it makes a whole lot of a difference, you know. And for me, it was an eye-opener and I enjoyed it, you know. Even my time, they've been at their peak and they've calmed down a bit. But the treatment was good. You go and big people like Steve Wonders will come to the dressing room, Santana, and they know these Africans for a long time. They are like brothers, you know. But what they did that I think we should all, you know, emulate is them fusing African traditions. Tradition meaning the clothes we wear. I remember, wherever we go shopping.
Right.
You know, and we buy the garments that people, when you see us, you see we are kings. And I remember a place like Australia, when you go, they have this culture. If you are wearing this, your nice dress, someone will come, oh, I like your dress. Then they will give you their bangle.
Oh, wow. Butter.
And they take your dress.
Okay. Wow.
So, yes, because it's so nice. And also they help with tourism in Ghana. When someone asks you, where did you buy that? Say Ghana. Where is Ghana? You show next thing you know, they are in Ghana looking for the smoke to buy.
Sure.
So for me, that is what I would say about Osibisa. But also, like Amandzeba said, we have to stick to our culture and our traditions and our music. Whatever any Ghanaian musician says, when you were growing up, your father was playing highlife. So you think you are singing R&B armor. Dabi. You see the armor in there, yes. You are singing highlife, we can hear you. And people love it. But the moment you try to copy, you sound funny, outside your territory. So I would say they should stick to, and what they've done also, like everybody is saying, where they took Ghana and Africa to. Because those days, black people were not free. We were under so much suppression.
Yeah.
The apartheid was going on in South Africa, but they came out and rubbed shoulders with the top bands. And so you see them and you say, wow, they're doing it, which means there is room there for me, like Ochama said. And so I want everybody, those who haven't seen Osibisa, and now we can get it on our phones. The young musicians, go there, listen to them. If you can use AI, it will tell you a lot about this group, and especially Teddy Osei, who did music arrangements at university in the UK.
Yeah.
And so you see their arrangements are very, very spot on.
Now, speaking on the back of that, we will get to the part where Uncle Gyedu was saying that they are not celebrated enough. Looking at Fela Kuti, for instance, in Nigeria, once every year there's a concert, a whole concert for him. But we don't have that for our veterans. We don't have that for Osibisa. So I'll come to you on the back of that, what you think about that, and to everybody as well. And Chinchin is just on the side, ready to give us some great music. That is Osibisa song, right? You're ready to give us Osibisa? Oh. Okay, Chinchin, are you ready? Yeah. Are you set? Yeah. So right after... Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful performance right there by Inchin Chim. Inchin Chim, thank you so much. That was quite energetic. And just as Amandzeba, right? I got it correctly.
You got it right.
Just as Amandzeba has said, you guys are doing awesomely well, and you would definitely have to have a great time if you are sitting under the performance of Inchin Chim. Ladies and gentlemen, what was just played is a song titled Fire, released in 1973 by the one and only Osibisa band. In case you just joined us, you have missed a lot, but we are not done. So you definitely will get something from the show. This is a special tribute show to the band Osibisa band. And we have our legendaries join us in the studio as we have a discussion. We've been talking about the impact of the Osibisa band on all these great men who have also chugged history in music in Ghana and in Africa. Now we are going to look at the evolution of highlife and where we are today. An analysis of how we used to be, the changes we are having now, what can be done better. I'll start with you, Ochema. Ochema, what could be the change of the high life of what you used to know and what we are seeing now?
Yeah, as you all know, high life is our music. When you talk about high life, you talk about Ghana. And high life from past generation to generation, we have got all forms of high life, in music. The guitar band high life, the dance band high life, and each one being creative, trying to create, something. It started like people like Kwamensa and Sam. Sam is the one that played Yaposa. All of them, they played their part and gone. And we got groups like Broadway Dance Band in Takoradi, became Uhuru Dance Band, Ramblers Dance Band. We had groups like Comets in Kumasi, Stargazers, and all that. Before we have the guitar bands like Nana Kwame Padu, Okuku Seku, Sikeman, all of them. But it's getting to a point that we are losing it. The new generation is losing the interest in high life. For me, I always blame Gerardo Pino and the Heartbeats for messing up our music for us. Because when they came in with that pop music, those days, the big bands like Uhuru, they were using Votation amplifiers, some small amplifiers. And this group from Sierra Leone, they came with Selma, amplifiers, bigger amplifiers. When they're having a sound check in Tipto Gardens, when they say hello, hello, you can hear the hello incarnation.
Quite strong.
Strong sound. So at that time, people started, and they were just 5-piece. And people started going to see Uhuru and Ramblers and all that. You see, that was the downhill for our music. And now the new generation are also doing their best to destroy it more. So that's one of the reasons why I like this group very much. They are holding forth. They're very creative. I see them do some tunes. I say, oh wow, and I encourage you guys to keep on doing it, man. So like our music now, we need more of Inchinchim. We need more of Inchinchim.
Right.
Say now also, I'll also thank my brothers Amandzeba and the Gyedu-Blay and Besa, because they are also holding forth, for the high life to stay alive. In fact, I just produced an album who will come out
Oh, wow.
later.
Okay. Do you have a date yet?
Maybe August or
August, okay.
something like that, and that is the same concept. And in fact,
Right.
we did it at Besa's studio.
Oh.
Right. And it's fantastic with Pat Thomas and some other guys,
Wow.
in it. So high life is our music, you know, and you know it's gone through a lot of changes, but I can tell you that high life is alive. It's not dead. It's very much alive.
Uncle Jay, now is high life diluted? The high life we used to listen to and what we have, has it been diluted?
Well, if we listen to what is coming today, we will say that it's been diluted in a way because, dilution is a formation of some other things, and if you want to dilute well, that means you have to understand whatever that you're trying to dilute, And we have to understand the music, the high life itself, because the high life is our heritage. When I was growing up as a kid and things like that, there were so many bands because during that time, it was Kwame Nkrumah's time. We had something that we call work and happiness. People go to work, then from work in the afternoon, they go to afternoon jumps. And then from there, they go back to work. So
Oh, it was like that?
Yeah.
That's how the work and happiness started.
Yes.
With the in-between working hours, there's that break.
Yeah, there's that break because
Wow.
there were so many clubs, there were so many bands.
Okay.
The private people had bands, private people had clubs. The government itself has bands and clubs.
Right.
Because the state hotels and catering rest houses. And if you go to Accra, Tiptoes and Lidos, Metropoles, and everywhere was saturated. So that sort of, happiness was right there.
Right.
But we need to understand something that we are a country of different tribes. And at any time that they play music like Akwaja music, it's the only people who knows how to dance Akwaja music that will go to the dance floor and dance. If they play Kundum, it's like that. If they play Adwa, it's like that.
Yeah.
But the moment high life is played, everybody goes down to the floor.
True.
Why? Because high life derived from the music that is called Osibi.
Okay.
Osibi. That pim, that's Osibi.
Okay.
And our brothers, when they went to America, London and everything, they adopted that name and added sa to it. That means if you want to dance Osibi, that's
Then you
Osibi,
dance.
sa.
Okay.
They added to it.
Right.
So high life, it's in every music. Because all the black people that were sent away from here, they took Africa with them. If you go to South America, they're playing salsa music. The high life is in it.
Yeah.
If you go to India, the high life is in it. If you go to America, they're playing funk. It's high life in it. But we haven't taken the time to analyze all these formations of, what high life has been able to bring. But high life will never ever die and can never ever, unless you don't understand where it came from and the direction that it's going. So it's something that we need to take care of it. But, some people started and some people will have to come and continue. Our younger brothers who are here to continue and things like that, our time, we learned what is called music. The rudiments of music and the crutches and compositions and all that. The younger guys, they are not learning that. They are depending everything on the computers. And when you go and buy a computer, sound and everything is already, formatted into the computer.
Yeah.
So they take that and they will take a funky beat or they take a salsa beat or maybe music coming from the Caribbean or something. Then they will try to add tree to it. And when they're adding tree to it, they think that they're doing something. I mean, it's something that you are copying. It's something that is not original coming from you. And the radio stations are adoring that. The TV stations are adoring that because those who are very creative, you don't hear their names. But those who are copying are the ones that you hear their names.
That's true.
And things like that. So there's something that is missing that, it gets down to my heart. That thing is called workshops.
Workshops.
and
Okay.
seminars. We need to do workshops.
Right.
We need to do seminars because it's there that minds meet and we can share ideas and say, oh, that's where it started from, but that's where it's going. So you, the younger guys who have the strength to move forward, you have to have the information so that you can, move forward with it.
Great.
That is what is missing. But high life is shagun bang, whatever.
Uncle Bess, on the back of the workshops and all of that, I'll come to you because you're the president of Musica. So we'll look at the workshop and also the event as well, what we can do to celebrate Osibisa. Just as Uncle Blay has said, enough is not being done at the moment. So 2 questions in one
Okay,
for you.
thank you. I think the workshops, I have started doing the workshop.
Great.
This year, we started last year. In the month of March, I got all the young musicians who are members of Musica and those who are not. I use it as a membership drive. I set a band up for them to come and rehearse with the band.
Wow.
And you should see their faces. But that's where longevity in music lies. I mean, my brother Gyedu-Blay is still playing, performing around the whole world. He's doing live music, he's not miming. So these young guys rehearsed. I went in to teach them. I told them that, hey, once you have a band and you are the front man, you can do anything with the band. You can even tell the band, if I raise my little finger, it means stop. If I bring my little finger, and they did all that. And then we got Gold Coast and the National Theatre for them to perform. And I also realized that they need to know the rudiments, in music. Because like, if you know a little bit, when a singer is singing, I mean, as a keyboard player, I can see all the notes that you are singing. Even when you flatter, I can see it should have been this one,
Yeah.
and it helps. So that if you have a chord, you know what you can lay on top. So it's very, very, for the workshops, we are going to start, and we're also encouraging other organizations to start. So from May going, we're going to start these workshops.
Okay.
And I'm going to get people like Gyedu-Blay Ambolley, when a chairman is in town, the laboratory them to inspire the children, let them know that, hey, do re mi fa sol la ti do. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it can be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. That kind of a thing. So at least you can build on that. And the other question, I think a lot, that's about honoring our faith, isn't it? Yes. I mean, Osibisa also contributed 100,000 Ghana cedis those days, which will be about millions of cedis now, to kickstart the National Theatre.
Yes, I think Joe Tonto mentioned it when
That's
he was
right.
here. Yes.
That's right. And we have records of that, because when they came to Ghana, they realized, well, we need a theatre like the Royal Albert Hall, in Ghana. And so they kick-started. And so I think for a start, it wouldn't be bad to put their name on, like Osibisa Theatre. And everybody who comes here, even if they don't know, they will ask, what's Osibisa? Then we can still talk about Osibisa. And also, every year we have to celebrate Osibisa. Someone suggested maybe in the month of April, because Teddy, the leader, left us in April. We can celebrate Osibisa for a week or so, playing their songs, which will never die. It's very, very important. And also, we are looking at building highlife museum so that we can start putting the right things in there. So when you go there, it's a one-stop shop.
Right.
You can find Ghanaian musicians and everything you need to know. Then when it comes to highlights, I think any smart young guy who will put the title on himself as a high life artist with a good management, with a very solid management, will make it.
True.
Will make it because that's our identity. I remember we played in somewhere in Canada, and Taj Mahal, the blues guitarist, the moment he heard we were Ghanaians, came to our dressing room, started talking about Gare, Fufu, because he played with the Ghanaian percussionist and high life music. But Most of the young people are afraid to say they are high life musicians. Look at Burger High Life. It didn't come as Burger music. It made it because it had high life with it. Look at Hip Life. It made it because when you hear Hip Life, you know it's high life. The guys were just hip, so they weren't hip life, you know. And so anything, it can be modern high life, it can be anything, but add the high life, and I tell you, you will make it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Amandzeba. Final word to the generation of today, our high life, our music, our culture.
First of all, I think music has to it has to be across the demographic, spectrum. Baby, adolescent, young and old.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it is our soul, you understand? But I think that even when I look at the lineup as we sit here, I haven't seen any young man seated here who will also espouse his impression and ideas about Osibisa. That's how you go involve them. I'm not seeing the women here, only Kankpe men. So
I think we spoke to Hammer earlier. He talked about the influence of Osibisa on his album with Obrafo, which is Paemuka.
Yeah.
So he also shared his
yes,
part
but
on that.
what I'm saying is the person must be physically present.
Okay, here. Okay.
So that,
Great.
I mean, they would even be in a position to inspire the kids who are, coming right after them.
True.
You understand? So it's a cycle that we don't have to break. It has to keep revolving. And then that's how we can get the evolution. Look, there are basic things that, structures that you lay down when you are playing high life music. And the first one prominently should be your feature, cut. Put everything, just generate that one, and you see the kind of rhythms that you will be able to bring up just because of that simple.
Yeah.
rhythm. You
Unfortunately,
understand?
we are bound by time and our time is up. But I know a lot of us has learned from this discussion the history, the impact of the Osibisa band. This has been Rhythm Live Show's edition, a special edition right here. And we gave you the tribute show, which is in celebration of the Osibisa band. We had great men who have joined us here to discuss the impact of Osibisa. And ladies and gentlemen, I know that you've taken something out of this conversation, and definitely we are going to make time with you. A quick run over our guest today. We have the African master percussionist, Otrema Asante, was here. We also have the president of Musica, who also joined us. Bessa Simmons is also here. And then Amandzeba has also joined us, a veteran man who has also chalked his name in the history of high life in Ghana. And of course, with over 30 albums to his name, Gyedu-Blay Ambolley is also right here. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for the insight. We are so happy to have you. And yes, Uncle Bessa.
Yes, I was going to say that on Friday, this Friday, tomorrow,
Yes.
Thursday, Friday,
Yes.
we're having a state funeral for Teddy Osei at the
Wow.
forecourt of the
Right.
State House. And everybody is invited.
Everybody. This is for Osibisa. If this is your first time, you've heard of them and how they have impacted us. So Thursday, Friday at the forecourt of the State House, be there, learn about Ghanaian music. Let's celebrate this prolific band. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. It's about time to throw over to Inchinchim, who are ready to give us their one of their specials songs for us to enjoy. Inchinchim, over to you.
Time will change. Yes, you are. Don't I sing this song? Time for change. Change. Highlife. Time for change. Time for change. Jack, what's it? I will feel my pain. I'm poor and my pain. Yet, don't need no food. That's when they ask the son of an woman. See on the soul. Or the baby man. That's it. Never sound. Never sound. I'm running no better my song. Ask your best, I bet something. Watch your man something. Assassin. Papa, I'm willing. Assassin. Amandzeba Nat Brew. Assassin. Ghana music. Assassin. See, I'm running better me as a song. Hey, assassin. Okay.
Thank you to Chim and thank you for joining us. We started from exactly 3 p.m. and I know that you have got a great time. So thank you for the contribution. Thank you for the messages. Thank you for being with us, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Rhythms Live and we brought you a special edition, which is the tribute show in honor of Osibisa Band. And we will continue to celebrate high life. We will continue to celebrate our culture, what we stand for, who we are, and our identity. I am Blessing Bliss Frimpong. You can call me Teacher Blessing. Join us tomorrow, same time, right here on GHOne TV. We'll bring you another edition of Rhythms Live. Enjoy the rest of your day.